We are. Sorry. Something just was funny that happened. It's no
Look
big
at that
deal.
funny picture.
Funny picture. That guy's pointing at the word good. I want to know, have we cracked the code on good movies? We are going to test out the Gabriel Code with Dr. Michael Foley. What's their middle initial? P?
Yes, indeed.
Nailed it.
Nice.
For Paul?
Patrick.
Patrick. Oh, Irish.
Indeed.
It's like super Irish or just kind of Irish?
I would say I grew up with a dad who was a super proud Irishman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dad
it's
was
cool.
super proud Irishman, and you grew up where?
Southern California, near Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah.
That's beautiful weather there.
Yeah, it's the one thing I miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're not moving to Southern Florida with me.
I'm sorry.
Don't you like sleeping here?
He's got a pretty good job that he probably doesn't want to let go. So, Mike, here we are with the Gabriel Code. It's something that we've talked to you about, and we are trying to apply this to film because the popes have written, and they have made it very clear that film is one of the most powerful art form, and we're still in its in the very beginning of this art form because it's really only about 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the many reasons why we're on this mission to help bring understanding, not just from the morality piece, and we're going to be talking a lot more about neurocinematics in the future. But break this down. We've got 5 principles. We've taken these from the Ideal Film, which is the Apostolic Exhortation that was written in 1955 by Pope Pius XII. So tear it apart. Are these legit? Should we add? Are we clearly missing something? Is there clearly one that you would kill? Talk to us.
I like them. I like the wording. I like the fact that God must be on the horizon, but not necessarily the star of the show.
Exactly.
Because then that gets so pedantic and didactic, you know. So one must allow for subtlety.
Right. You don't have to have altar calls in every movie.
Exactly. No, like again, going back to Groundhog Day, I loved how God is very much on the horizon,
Right.
but it's not in your face, and it's not done in a cheesy evangelical way.
Yeah.
Right. But it's
No,
done
exactly.
artistically. It's
Right.
off the nose. And I like the wording of the others. The goods must be good. Evils must be evil. Human dignity must be respected. I like that as well. I was intrigued by Cameron's application of that to the actors and the
Right.
things that they must do on screen to each other. That I hadn't considered. I was thinking of human dignity must be respected in terms of the story itself. Does the story understand human dignity?
Right.
Does it affirm human dignity? Because there are some films that don't, right? That end up having a demeaning understanding of the
Well,
human being.
another example is excessive violence.
Yeah.
So that would be in the movie itself. And there's a movie I think is really great. It's called Late Night with the Devil. It's a horror movie that's a cautionary tale against worshiping money and fame. And you can guess what happens. I mean, it's about demonic stuff. And in that movie, I would say the only toxic element, or I would say a dangerous element, is that it offends human dignity because of the way that people are kind of destroyed in the film. It's like, oh my gosh, like you did not need to go that far. And it's kind of like, Quentin Tarantino movies is like, come on, you don't need to pluck someone's eyes out in slow motion, so that would be a violation of human dignity in the film.
Yeah. Very good. And then finally, the last, the human experience must be authentic. That is such an important element of great art, that it rings true. That it doesn't come across as fake or forced.
Yeah.
So I like it.
wow, I never thought I'd be talking about Paddington 2. And the fact that I know that that's Paddington 2. I'm assuming that's a honey sandwich. Either way.
Marmalade, right?
Okay.
It's marmalade.
Right. I also can't believe that there's mildly frightening and intense scenes in Paddington 2. But here's what you need to do.
Doesn't their living room fill up with water or something? That's
I've
intense.
clearly never seen this.
It's mildly frightening.
I'm
in my opinion.
mildly asking you to go to vidangel.com, use promo code Crusade, because that's going to help us and help you. Vidangel.com, promo code Crusade. Crusade is your promo code, and it will take away all of the sticky marmalade. I would be, as someone who's slightly obsessive compulsive, I would take away all of the sticky scenes. Mm-hmm. That's what I would do.
I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of thinking out loud because I'm relatively new to this. You gentlemen have been cogitating on this much longer than I.
Sure. Go for it.
I very much like how you have drawn from Pius XI and Pius XII. Mm-hmm. And I've watched some of your video presentations, Cameron, where you also quote John Paul II. Mm-hmm. The latest pope to comment on the world of cinema is Pope Leo.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this is coincidental or not, but his statement came out the week that Netflix was about to acquire Warner Brothers. I don't think the deal has been stalled as of this broadcasting.
The airing of this broadcast.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Right. But I wonder if that was coincidental or not, because the CEO of Netflix has famously said that you don't need the cinema experience to enjoy a good movie. The size of the screen doesn't matter. And he bragged that his kids watched Lawrence of Arabia for the first time on their smartphone. Pope Leo, he doesn't go into detail like Pius XI or Pius XII, and maybe because they had already said what needed to be said, but he affirmed the communal experience of cinema watching. And then he did enjoin the filmmakers to be moral, and he said, follow the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
That's all he said, but I thought it was good advice. It was a short admonition. But the reason why I bring that up is it kind of goes back to this sort of reception theory that we were talking about. Whatever is received according to the mode of the receiver. So there is an objective analysis of a work of art, but there is, in a sense, almost like a third dimension. And you're interested in this with like the mirroring of neurons and whatnot.
Right.
I just wonder how should that be a sixth element of the code? Reception theory.
What would you call it?
This may be good for some and not. Like you've used analogies of food.
Yeah, right.
I would think like analogies of medicine also apply. What is a saving remedy for one man can be poison for another, right? The exact same medication can save one human being and kill another. I don't know what I'd call it, but I know that this is also true. You're right to objectively analyze art. I do it all the time. I'm a great text professor. That's what I do. But I also see that different things have different impacts on different people, which isn't the fault of the artist.
Sure.
So what you're saying is not another principle, but another category that it falls into?
That's what I'm wondering. Is there a sixth rule? Or should that just be a consideration as we evaluate the five?
Well, I don't know if it'd be a rule, because we wouldn't say with every film does it help certain people.
Yeah, that you got a point.
Yeah, but I think
But maybe what you're saying is in the like buckets that they fall into, because Pope Pius XII says, okay, you film critics, you need to tell the world what films are harmful, what films are dangerous, and what films are good. What films are good for all, and what films are good for a certain audience.
Oh,
so maybe
good.
that's what you're saying. It's like, this film is great for a certain audience. Maybe The Passion of the Christ would be like good for a certain audience. Like you wouldn't recommend it maybe for everyone because it's not for kids.
Yeah.
Maybe you would. Maybe I'm over speaking, but I'm sure we could think of films that would be like good for a mature audience.
I would be careful about introducing The Passion of the Christ to too young a child.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I wouldn't
And
not
Not
show
for a 5-year-old,
And
right?
it wasn't terribly good for Jewish viewers.
Yeah, well, that's
They
true.
in other words, they didn't get the right message from it, right?
And that might be overstating the subjective importance, because I'm like, well, if you have a film about Christ, it's going to be like if it encapsulates Christ, not encapsulates, but reflects Christ accurately, it's going to do the same thing that Christ did on earth, which is offend everyone or bless everyone. You know, he cut the world in two pieces.
Yeah.
And some people wanted to kill him and some people wanted to worship him. And so a film will have those reactions. So I don't think necessarily that reaction demeans the Passion of the Christ. But back to what you're saying, I think you're right. Like, we do need a category within good that says, hey, be aware that this film has these subjects to it, so it's going to be really good for this type of person. Like, if we said Prestige was healthy, we'd say especially for if you struggle with this sin. You know, it's a remedy for it. It's a remedy for envy.
Yeah.
So it's really focusing on the movie itself and not more of a blanket statement like, well, this movie has focused on this either virtue or vice. And as we talked about before, here is a positive way that we would support this virtue, or here is showing you what vice does to you. And it's done in a healthy way. So
One of the I think one of the most common ways a film can violate life must be authentic is in when it deals with faith. Because the popes say that faith is really hard to depict in film, and it's too easily inauthentic and shallow. I forget the word they use, but it means inauthentic and shallow. And you see this in a lot of films that are Christian today. Like a ton of films that they're inauthentic, not because maybe people don't talk like that, and it's like, that's not how a barista talks, but it's more about the faith experience. If you don't get that right, and if people can laugh at faith because of your depiction of it, like, that's dangerous, right?
That's right. That's right. It's also vapid. Yeah.
Vapid is a good word.
Yeah, it's not going to convince anyone. And I think a lot of evangelical films fall into that category. You know, the sort of conversion, and then once I'm saved, I'm always saved. It doesn't ring true in terms of authentic human experience.
Yeah.
well, and they also depict that, well, once I'm saved, then all these events turn
It's like a happy ending. right?
like turn to me in a good way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the prosperity gospel. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna be, once you get saved,
You'll get the job.
you're gonna
you'll
get
the
everything you
truck.
want.
Yeah.
Right. And the tornado's not gonna hit your trailer. Everything is great. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's also, the other thing, Mike, that we're trying to do is look at those three big, these documents, Vigilante Cora, The Ideal Film, and Miranda Proris, and see, we've scoured those documents. I'm not saying that, we haven't read them a dozen times each. Every time I read it, each document, it's a little bit more of an understanding. And what's your take? I feel like, Cameron, since you and I are in the storm and we're going through this, I feel like there is a bit, and Mike, you've done the best at bringing this to our attention. It's not an exact, I don't want to say it's not an exact science, but it's not as if like,
It's not.
oh, you're
evaluating art.
Yeah, you apply these 5 things and nobody can question you, right? Obviously, that's not the case.
That is correct.
So I applaud your kind of not like proper pushback. And then I've got Cameron on the other side, who's a filmmaker who legitimately understands what film can. I mean, film transforms.
Yeah.
I can't believe every time I watch a film, now that I'm thinking in this way, and now that I'm reading more about neurocinematics, that I literally do get transported into that film. Like when you brought this up to me before, Cameron, months and months and months ago, and I'm like, yeah, you're a filmmaker, whatever. But I'm not, it's just like, I still love you. You're great. But then it's like, no, it really transports you. Like you get
it's not
enthralled.
just like a fluffy thing to
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
it's like,
right.
no, like your brain is doing something
That's
and you
right.
think you're on Tatooine, even though
Yeah.
you're sitting on your couch,
Yeah.
It really does that.
So given all
right.
of that, is there, might be a crazy question and we don't have a lot of time, but are we doing more harm than good with this?
Oh, that depends on how you apply the principles. I think a lot depends on that. So my only concern, these are all solid principles, but if they are applied too stringently, they could come across as prudish or guilty of the sin of scrupulosity. Or to put a heretical term on it, it could be Jansenist, right? Like, so I'm not saying it is.
No, I get it. I see your point, though. Yeah.
These principles can be put in the hands of a very dour, scrupulous, nasty person, and they can just be used to become, the next vanity of the bonfires. Bonfire of the vanities.
Yeah. It reminds me of the movie about Saint Philip Neri that's in Italian, and the way that the cardinals, the way that the church, that the Pope and the cardinals, you just get this sense that, wow, they are just sticking it to everybody.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forget the name of that film.
Yeah.
But you just get that feeling of like,
Yeah.
oh man. But then you've got St. Philip Neri, and he's happy, and he's a prayerful man, and he talks to the sinners, he talks to the prostitutes, and he laughs when he's like, prostitutes on this side and little children on this side. We're all, children of God. Right?
And in truth, he was very strict in his personal life, and he was very strict about issues of purity.
Yeah.
But he was also so joyful.
He was joyful.
And so...
But you saying that reminds me of how I just remember thinking, man, what was the Pope and the cardinals, I'm sure there's got to be some truth over the last 2,000 years that they've been like that. Were they just a bunch of prudes who really thought that they controlled how to dictate what everybody thought and felt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how that came across.
Yeah.
And we don't want that obviously the whole idea is we want to move the world to Christ
Yeah.
by doing this, not say, we will tell you what you should think about this film because here are these objective principles.
That's a good point about specifically this scrupulosity risk, Jansenist risk. That's something to meditate on. That's why we need to assemble a team, right?
Right.
You're part of the team, and we have other theologians
right.
a part of the team, because it's not any one person, because we all have different proclivities.
Yeah.
What my thought is that I really, really believe, even in Catholic film criticism, we've just been missing the mark for so long. We are so soft with sin. We're so hyper intellectual with like redeeming movies that are actually corrupted, because we can think our way out of the mess and we're smarter than the average viewer. That I'm ready to move the criticism like way over here and plant our flag and have no compromise. But then at that point say, okay, let's make sure we're not being scrupulous. Let's make sure we're leaving room for art. Like we're not dictating art as much as we're refining it. And yes, we have principles, but they're it's kind of like a fence. It's like, this is a boundary. And less like ingredients, that you throw in a dish. Does that make sense?
And I share your disappointment with Catholic film criticism.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you want your project to be inspired, as we were talking about earlier, by a love of the good rather than a reaction of the mediocre.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you just say, all right, we're not going to be like, these.
Our film
these,
is great because it doesn't have any crap in it. It's
Yeah.
like, well, not really.
Or we're going to make an extra strict review in response to the lax reviews.
Yes,
that
exactly.
the Catholic
Overly
establishment.
strict.
Yeah. So you don't want to overcorrect.
But here's an example. As we've talked about Braveheart before, and I've heard Catholic speakers and priests say like, Braveheart's awesome. Every man's favorite movie. Everyone should watch it. It's like, okay, we watched it, loved most of it. It's like that birthday cake with the fly analogy.
Yeah.
Or the wedding cake with the fly. Because not only do you have adultery, you have adultery as the like greatest punch you in the face, masculine, like, yeah, adultery.
I just slept with the queen.
I slept with the queen. I got into her bed and now she's having my son. It's just like, wait a second.
Yeah.
That is such a subtle, pernicious evil.
Can I just add, as an Irishman, I think you do get a dispensation for adultery if you're sticking it to the English monarchy.
Oh, okay. See, that's something we need to know because I was not aware of that.
I know there's some Irish clergy who might back me up on that.
Wow. I don't even know what to say right now.
He broke our code.
No, I mean, it's broken.
With that.
It's broken.
If that's true, our code is broken.
The code is broken. Well, it's nice talking to you guys. We'll see you later. Okay. Thank you for all of that. The bottom line is much more to talk about, much more to think about and pray about. And at the end of the day, we need the Holy Ghost to move us in the right direction.
Yep.
Because I know I'm not going to figure this thing out. But I do feel like God has called us to be where we're at.
Yep.
And that these church documents have just sat on a shelf for decades, and nobody's touched them. And maybe God's called somebody and they didn't do it. And maybe we're crazy, which we probably are in a little way. But we're going to keep plowing ahead. So please keep helping us and praying for us. And we're going to keep trying our best to properly apply it because it's not an exact science.
That's true.
Exactly.
It's not an exact science.
But you were raising the right questions and you're generating the right discussion.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
keep up the good work.
That's a good point.
All right, Mike, thank you for that. If you liked that clip, which I'm sure you did, then check out our other clips. And don't forget to go into the comments section and hype this bad boy. Don't make me get fat cardinal. Hype it now.